Hello to all. I am Dr. Alkesh Agrawal, and in this lecture, I'll mainly discuss about the classification of angle modulation techniques, then the basic definition of frequency modulation, followed by a mathematical depiction of FM signal. Then I'll explain or define the basic definition of phase modulation, followed by a mathematical depiction of PM signal, and finally the properties of FM and PM signal. These are some reference books that include Communication Systems by Sam Hagen and Principles of Communication Systems by H. Top and D.L. Schilling. So to begin with, after amplitude modulation, we have another analog modulation technique, that is angle modulation, and in a very layman definition, it is the technique where the angle of the carrier is varied according to the amplitude of the message or the baseband signal. Now we know that angle comprises of two components. One is the frequency, one is the phase. So out of that we have two types of angle modulation technique. One that is being termed as frequency modulation FM, and other one as phase modulation or PM. So if we define a frequency modulation technique, so as the name suggests, it is that form of angle modulation in which the instantaneous frequency is varied linearly with the message signal. So as I have told, that angle has two components, one is frequency, one is phase. So in frequency modulation, the instantaneous frequency is varied in accordance to the message signal, whereas in phase modulation, here the angle is the instantaneous angle is varied linearly with that of message signal. So now in the subsequent slides we'll see what this basic definition means and how we can mathematically depict frequency modulated signal and a phase modulated signal that together depicts an angle modulation scheme. So we come to the frequency modulation technique, where we discuss that it is that form of angle modulation where the instantaneous frequency varies linearly with that of message signal. So this is our modulating signal MT in terms of AM cos 2 pi FMT. Now this FIT is our instantaneous frequency, and that has to be varied in accordance to the message signal. And what is message signal is MT. So the carrier of this signal is varied as FC plus KFMT, where what is KF? KF is frequency sensitivity, and that is being depicted in terms of hertz per volt. So now how we'll define FIT, that is instantaneous frequency, now becomes FC plus, putting the value of MT, is KF AM cos 2 pi FMT. Now this KF into AM is being replaced by another term delta F, where this is being termed as frequency deviation, because this cos will have values from maximum values or peak values from +1 to -1. So this frequency varies from FC plus del F to FC minus del F. So this factor del F is therefore being termed as frequency deviation. Now we know that the angle is being written in terms of frequency as an integral form. So theta it, which is instantaneous angle, is equal to 2 by integration 0 to 2 FIT dt. So if we put the value of FIT, which is FC plus KF AM cos 2 by FMT dt, so what we get is theta it is 2 pi FC, integrating FC we get FCT, so we have theta it is equal to 2 pi FCT plus, if we integrate this value, what we get is KF AM upon 2 pi FM. So 2 pi factor will nullify. What we get is KF AM, which is being termed as delta F upon FM. Cos will be subsequently changed into its sinusoidal form, sin 2 pi FMT. Now this factor, this delta f upon fm, is the modulation index of fm signal. And if we assume it to be a beta, so we have this another form, st is equal to ac cos 2 pi fct plus beta sine 2 pi fmt. So now we have again two types of FM signal. One is called narrowband FM and one is called wideband FM. So that depends upon the value of beta, or this factor delta F upon FM. So if beta is the smallest compared to 1 radian, we define FM signal as narrowband FM. And if beta is large as compared to 1 radian, we define it as, or we classify FM as wideband FM signal. Now how we can finally represent a frequency signal mathematically? So this is our instantaneous frequency, Fit is equal to Fc plus Kfmt, which is being varied with respect to the message signal. So we define theta it as 2 pi 0 to 2 Fit dt, so, and we get 2 pi Fct plus 2 pi Kf 0 to t m dot dt, and putting this angle value, we get the representation of frequency modulated signal as AC cos, and this whole is theta it. So we have AC cos 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf 0 to t m dot dt. So this is the final mathematical representation of a FM signal. Now let us now discuss about phase modulation. So according to our basic definition, it is that technique in which the instantaneous angle is varied linearly with the message signal. So this is our message signal, mt is equal to am cos 2 pi fmt. Now what is the instantaneous angle? Theta it, which comprises of frequency and this phase. Now this phase is being replaced by this message signal with this another factor kp. So now we instantaneous angle theta it is equal to 2 pi fct plus kpmt, where kp is the phase sensitivity and is expressed in radians per volt. So now if we put theta it into this our main equation, so we have phase modulated signal being described as AC cos, and this is whole value is theta it. So we have AC cos 2 pi fct plus kpmt. If we put the value of mt, we get another form of phase modulation signal as AC cos 2 pi fct plus kpam cos 2 pi fmt, where here kpam is the phase deviation factor, whereas in frequency modulation it was kfam delta f. So this is the mathematical depiction of a phase modulated signal. Now we have this expression of a frequency modulated signal, we have expression of phase modulated signal, and we can prove, or we can have this that PM and FM are inseparable. That is, from one signal we can generate another, and from FM we can have PM, or from PM we have an FM signal. These are two block diagram depictions where this statement is being proved that PM FM are inseparable. If we notice these two expressions, so somehow if we generate this integrated form of message signal, and we process it through a phase modulator, we have this kind of a signal. So here this diagram depicts the same. We have message signal, it is passed through an integrator, so we have this kind of a signal, integrated form of message signal, and we process this through a phase modulator with the help of a carrier signal. So what we get is FM signal. That is, through this phase modulator, this is being replaced by an integrated signal. So from this process of phase modulation, what we get is frequency modulated signal, because here this signal is in integrated form. So if we have this common factor kf is equal to kp is equal to k, so we have this is being replaced by 0 to t mt, this value. So though we are doing phase modulated signal, phase modulation, but what we are getting is a frequency modulation. In the second diagram, what we can see is if we have a signal which is being passed through processed through a differentiator, we have this kind of signal, and if we frequency modulate it, that is in this, that is we have to integrate this. So when we integrate a differentiated value, what we get is this kind of a signal. So through a frequency modulator, we are capable of generating a phase modulated signal. So like this, through these two block diagrams, we can easily prove that PM and FM are inseparable. Now this is very important slide which depicts the visualization of a FM and PM signal. So try to understand it very uh, it's very important to understand this concept. So this is a carrier signal in figure 3a. Then we have a modulating signal in figure 3b. Now see, this is a FM signal and this is a PM signal. More or less, if you see, they looks like same, or you can not very easily differentiate between the two, as I have told that they are inseparable. But how you can understand the basic difference between the two signal? We see this is a modulating signal, and we know that here in this the frequency is being varied in accordingly, the instantaneous frequency is being varied according to the uh, this amplitude of the carrier signal. So we see when the amplitude is increasing, so we see that this waveform is denser here where the amplitude of the message signal is maximum. So in that at that time instant the frequency is maximum, and as the value as amplitude goes down, here it is, here we have the least amplitude, we have the rarer portion of this signal. Again, when the amplitude increases, the frequency gets denser and denser. So this is FM signal where the frequency is being varied according to the amplitude. With maximum amplitude we have the most denser part, with the minimum amplitude we have the most rarer part. Now come to FPM signal. In PM signal, what we can see, because here we have to concentrate on the phase and how the phase is being depicted by the slope. So in this portion, you see in this portion we have the slope is positive and maximum. Here the slope is 0, then slope is negative, and slope is 0, and then slope is again increasing in this portion. So in this portion where the slope is maximum, we see the wave is most denser, and as the slope becomes 0 and decreases, the waveform gets the has the most rarer part. And again, from this point the slope goes on increasing, so we have the most denser part. So like this we have again the denser part and the rarer part, or the frequency increases or decreases in PM signal. So more or less the phenomena are same, but the instant where these the same phenomena occurring are at a different instants. So like this we have a FM signal and we have a PM signal. Now there are certain properties of FM signal and PM signal. The first is in amplitude in the amplitude in phase modulation signal and frequency modulation signal is maintained almost at constant value, and that too is equal to the amplitude of a carrier signal irrespective of sensitivity factors Kp and Kf. So this is the advantage in PM and FM, that there is no variation in the amplitude and it is fixed, as compared to the amplitude modulated signal where there are variation in the amplitude. Second is these two techniques, they follow non-linearity of modulation process, that is they violate the principle of superposition. Like if we have a message signal which is a combination of two signals, so if we have a this kind of moderate signal ST is as AC cos 2 pi FCT plus KP M1T plus M2T. So this whole signal ST is not equal to S1T plus S2T. So that is, we want to say that this PM and FM, they violates principle of superposition. Then visualization difficulty of message waveform. As we have seen in this diagram, in amplitude modulation, we see that we see the message waveform as envelope of modulated waveform. That is, we have already discussed that in amplitude modulation signal, in modulated signal, the shape of the envelope is same as that of a baseband signal or modulating signal. But this phenomena is not true in FM or PM signal. So there is a visualization difficulty of message signal. So we cannot predict a message signal seeing FM or PM signal. Then one of the advantage of PM FM signal is improved noise performance, but in terms of transmission, increased transmission bandwidth. So since here in the transmission of message signal is by modulating the angle of carrier wave, and which is not sensitive to the presence of additive white Gaussian noise, because the amplitude is not affected, and because here the information is not is carried with the variation in the amplitude, so the additive white Gaussian noises do not affect much these PM FM signal, whereas as compared to the amplitude, as compared when in AM signal, where the transmission is by modulating the amplitude of the carrier. So there is an improvement in the noise performance, but it is at the expense of increased transmission bandwidth. So these are certain properties, or we can say certain advantages and disadvantages when compared with AM signal. Thank you.